A conversation about space is always an interesting topic to discuss. As humans, our inquisitive mind keeps us curious all the time, yearning to find out about the world beyond. There are companies and agencies championing the course of space research. One company pioneering in space exploration is Elon Musk's SpaceX. Have you ever wondered how this space agency makes money? In today's video, we will tell you how. To understand how SpaceX makes money, we would have to know something brief about the company and what they do. What does SpaceX do? SpaceX is a private company headed by Elon Musk and currently builds and launches two rockets, the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. The booster stages of these rockets usually return to Earth for refurbishment, which saves money and helps SpaceX undercut competitors' prices. SpaceX also manufactures and flies Dragon, a space capsule that can carry crew and cargo to the International Space Station. The company eventually plans to fly private astronauts on Dragon. SpaceX is working on a large rocket and spacecraft system called Starship that will be able to carry massive payloads to space. Starship may ferry people to Mars for the colonization of the planet and eventually permanent habitation. The company is also deploying a massive constellation of small satellites called Starlink, intended to provide global high-speed internet access. It seems like SpaceX has a lot on its plates, and that brings us to our question at the start of our video. How does SpaceX make money? How SpaceX makes money is more of a guessing game to finance folks, since it's private and owes us no explanation on how they fund their space projects. But according to the Motley Fool, SpaceX does earn revenue by launching satellites into orbit. Back in 2018, the finance outlet estimated that SpaceX makes $1.3 billion per year. Commercial launches. The company charges commercial customers a standard rate of $62 million per launch for this service, according to reports. This rate definitely includes their profits. SpaceX is very secretive about company finances. It is estimated that it costs around $50 million to get the Falcon 9 on a launch. Per this estimate, we can come to a conclusion that SpaceX earns roughly $12 million per launch. This is a huge amount considering that SpaceX has about 114 successful launches. In the previous year alone, the company had 26 missions and aspires to launch around 50 this year. Government projects. NASA and military contracts seem to contribute hugely to SpaceX's revenue. Although the exact numbers are undisclosed due to the company's private status, investment bank Jefferies estimates that SpaceX generates more launch revenue than any other contractor working with the US government. While SpaceX is newer to the market, their lower price point has allowed them to outpace peers in estimated annual launch revenues. Jefferies analyst Sheila Kahyaoglu wrote in a note to investors last May. In 2014, NASA awarded two identical contracts to SpaceX and Boeing, commissioning them to each build a spacecraft to regularly transport astronauts to the International Space Station. SpaceX managed to complete the job first at a much lower price than Boeing. NASA budgeted Boeing's project at $4.3 billion, while SpaceX's at $2.5 billion. SpaceX has partnered with NASA a number of times, earning millions from these partnerships. Communications. Communication companies like SES, Orbcomm, Inmarsat, Tycom, etc. partner with SpaceX to get their satellites into low Earth orbit. SpaceX's ability to get its hardware to space at a comparably cheaper price than competitors makes it the go-to company for such endeavors. SpaceX has passed a number of milestones in that time, including returning its first NASA astronauts from space successfully, winning hundreds of millions of dollars in Pentagon contracts, launching hundreds of more Starlink satellites to orbit to build its global internet network, and conducting 2 test flights of its next-generation Starship rocket. SpaceX makes a lot, and there's no doubt they will be making more in the coming years with people getting interested in space tourism. The prospect of colonization of Mars and Starlink's estimated value said to reach $52 billion by 2025. And that's all for today's video. Leave a like and comment if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe for more tech videos.